It's been a 1-2-3 punch to the restaurant industry. First, mandatory closures, then a slew of pandemic restrictions, now widespread staff shortages. As a result, around a quarter of the restaurants that were open in the state in March of last year have since closed, many of them small and locally owned. But here in Boston, one local restaurateur's business is not only surviving, it is expanding. Nia Grace took over Darryl's Corner Bar and Kitchen in 2018, and last week she opened a new place, the Underground Café and Lounge. Nia is also co-founder of the Boston Black Hospitality Coalition and joins me now. Nia, it's good to see you.
Very good to see you too. Thanks.
So I believe in fate, and the relevance of this is if you had driven a different route to work at Darryl's every day, this might never have happened. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Well, what happened? You just saw the space and were intrigued? What happened?
Well, I mean, so I'm located right here on Columbus Avenue. Mm-hmm. And so coming from my home in Roxbury, I drive by Melnea Cass, and then I get to Columbus and make that turn. And I've seen a property that was developing there, a building that kind of towers above the rest of the neighborhood. And so it really stood out. And what stood out to me as well was the retail space on the ground floor.
But you originally thought this is not doable, particularly in a tough economic time coming through 18 months of the pandemic. What are the forces that came together with you at the center of it that made this all possible?
Well, when I first had interest in the space, it was actually right before the pandemic. It was even at that point in time, I felt that I may not have had the appropriate foundation to even consider a second unit. That's historically based on the lack of investment sometimes in restaurant businesses and smaller businesses, and particularly businesses of color. Mm-hmm. And so when I approached this building again, it was in fact someone who recommended us. They understood that the developers were looking to, really get someone active in the space. And it was someone who was from the community who could, really kind of thrive in that environment. And that's when it was posed to me.
And so all the rhetoric that we hear about supporting businesses, restaurants of people of color, this is a situation where the rubber appears to have actually met the road. Somebody met their words with action, correct? I mean, my understanding is early on, you're not even paying rent in the short term, are you, until you get up and going there? Is that true?
There's definitely a rent deal that the developers have been able to extend to us for the first year. We also have the opportunity to have worked with great teams and partners, including Graffito, who helped us with the marketing and design of it. Yep.
And my understanding is this model that is happening out of Northeastern and with this developer and with you is a model that's being replicated, or at least attempting to be replicated in other settings, particularly where there's some historical tension, as there has been here, between the university and the surrounding community. So this is not a one and done kind of thing, from what I understand.
Definitely not a one-off. We have more campuses within the city that are being developed. This is a program that I know that they're looking to extend even beyond our neighborhoods and our town. And so I'm really just happy to be a part of its inauguration.
I know the soft opening was only a few weeks ago and the formal opening was literally just a week ago. But one of the things I assume you'd fear, and I wonder if it came to reality, is that this is going to be, despite this community university melding, that it was mostly going to be students who were living in this housing going there. Has this been a mix so far of people from the surrounding community as well as the students at Northeastern who are patronizing your place?
Absolutely. I mean, we have I think it's delightful, in terms of the mix. We have an audience that has followed us from Darryl's Corner Bar and Kitchen. We have the students who are new to us and who are getting to know us and are even interested in coming down the street. And it's a mix in age and population. And people have been looking for that, workspace, that third space.
And by the way, Artists for Humanity is part of this deal too, we should say. So it's not just fabulous food for those who know Darryl's, but there's art, teenage art, from what I understand too, right?
Absolutely. Ranging as young as 14, as old as 20.
That's great.
Artists for Humanity is art all the walls in the restaurant.
So tell us the 2 or 3 things that are exploding out of the restaurant on the menu. What are the things that have been the hottest so far?
So if you come to Darryl's, you know that we're kind of known for our macaroni and cheese. And so we've got a barbecue stuffed macaroni and cheese that's flying off as a favorite. We also do a great jerk chicken flatbread. You can also grab a smoothie, the Berry Roxbury, in fact, which goes to support the Roxbury YMCA.
And by the way, I'm assuming the name of this, the Underground, is not just a coincidence. This is intentional, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, the Underground for me represents opportunity. It represents the intersection of commonalities. It's always represented kind of that transient space then and now where you're able to, just kind of achieve more. And so with us being there, we're able to, again, provide that community space. We'll also be able to provide a place to earn within your neighborhood.
Well, coming on the heels of the unfortunate demolition of the Harriet Tubman House, too, the timing, it seems to me, for a gathering place is great. I only have a half a minute. I mentioned you were the co-founder of the Boston Black Hospitality Coalition. The mission is to ensure the future of Boston's Black-owned hospitality community. In a half a minute, how has Boston's Black-owned hospitality community come through this 18 months so far?
There have always been challenges. I would say that the city has definitely been helpful. There have been programs that have been helpful and kind of giving us some footing, but businesses still need help. Businesses have had to close over the last 3 months. Businesses even like ours due to staffing issues and then just not being able to provide the, a lucrative income maybe for some, based off of the resources that we have. So where we look to right now is that we're in a recovery period. We're going to be in this period for, some time to come. And we're just continuing to ask people to kind of expand their reach when thinking about Black-owned restaurants.
Well, if you love Darryl's, I'm sure you'll love the Underground. Good luck with all your work, and thanks so much for your time, Nia. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.